I am Tina Pegler, and I am a charter member along with my best buddy Catherine there for the last 17 years. And we are here as a team of calendar girls for the premiere in Sarasota of the documentary that was done by a Swedish couple. And we're very happy to be here today.
We began in 2005 as dancers for an NBA developmental league in Fort Myers, Florida. And when the league folded, we stuck together, picked our charity, Southeastern Guide Dogs for Veterans, and we've danced together ever since.
We perform all over Southwest Florida. We give back to our community. We have a charity, Southeastern Guide Dogs for Veterans, and we perform at nursing homes. We perform for surprise birthday parties. We practice 4 days a week, and we perform anywhere from 100 to 150 shows a year.
Yeah, 4 days a week practice is wonderful. We have anywhere between 20 and 25 routines that we have mastered at any one time. We can do a show from 10 minutes to an hour, and it's a wide variety of genres: rock, country, jazz. Right now we're doing something out of Disney, so it's we have a lot of fun. We do patriotic shows, holiday shows, entertaining audiences of all ages.
Well, actually, people just come to us through the wonderful marketing that we have. We have a lot of very talented people on our team, not just in dance, but we have a lot of social media, and we have a lot of people that have come to known us over the years. 17 years is a long time, and we're getting around finally, and now we're in our hometown yard. But we actually used to have auditions years ago, but we don't do that anymore. We just want these women to come who they come for a variety of reasons, friendship, sorority, to exercise, to dance, and we see if they've got the basic rhythms and different things they can do, and then we just kind of huddle up together, this administrative team you're looking at now, and we decide if we should hold on to this girl. We will never kick anyone out.
We were at a Touch a Truck event in Cape Coral in 2017, and 2 Swedish filmmakers came and asked if we'd do a short video. And it took 4 years and thousands of hours, and it became the documentary Calendar Girls.
Well, the documentary was, like she said, 4 years. They picked individuals to come. They came to our house. We performed solos. They asked us questions. They followed us to our performances. We did it out at Big Flea Masters. They mic'd us up at practice and took, as I'm the dance captain, so we give, instruction, and we have a fantastic choreographer, and they were there when we learned new songs, and they were in awe of us, and most of us are over 60 years old. The requirement is you have to be over 50.
Well, the reaction has been incredible, actually. Catherine's getting calls from all over the United States from women that want to learn how to create their own Calendar Girl team. They feel inspired not only by the fitness part of this, but by our personal stories that you'll see in the film. That, we kind of put it out there. We are aging in place, we're aging with grace, and we're not going to let it stop us. And they're really inspired by that.
I personally feel that we're never going to leave. We're always going to do this until we physically cannot do it anymore. Catherine and I both started this together, and we're going to go out and end together. But we are going to continue, and we have always left that door open to any woman who's 50 and over who want to be a part of this amazing team. It's giving them hope. It's giving them a chance to fulfill something that's missing in their lives. With all the practices that Catherine and CJ do and all the performances that Donna talked about, it's just an amazing feeling to be a part of something. And now, worldwide, award-winning Calendar Girls. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
When people see our documentary, I hope they'll consider aging with health and fitness and having lots of fun.
That's my number one goal, is to have fun, but it's a way to age gracefully and to show the world that just because you're a certain age, you don't have to stop having fun. And if you love to dance, then you dance and you share it with your community. And, you know, it empowers women. I mean, and they see us, little girls see us, and they're like, I want to be like that when I grow up. And that's so amazing.
I hope when people see this film, whether it be men or women, they realize that you do not have to grow old. That you can grow older, but you can be bolder and you can do whatever you want to do and continue a happy and healthy life.
I personally think that we are such role models for the younger generation of all women. And I feel that when I get dressed up in a costume and put eyelashes, wigs, makeup on, it's an amazing feeling that it kind of makes me feel young again. So it gives me that youthful feeling that I can do anything, no matter what knee is bothering me or hip or whatever. We're going to go out there and we're going to do it. And we're going to show that we've still got it no matter what age you are. You love to dance. We need to keep it going. Age doesn't matter at all. Just keep dancing.
Meeting when they first approached you. What was their pitch, and then how did it go? What did you think about it?
When they first approached us, it sounded like it would be a 5 or 10 minute video. And then as the years went by, we could tell they were putting so much more time into it than we were, and we were putting in a huge amount of time. We never knew it would go this far, but we're so grateful for their time and talent.
Yeah, it shows. It shows. And to bring it back to you, so there's some great, there are fly-on-the-wall documentaries, and then I love some of the creative choices you made to include some choreography of your own. I believe you're credited as a choreographer on that. So tell us about that decision to include these dance number interludes at 3 very poignant parts in the film.
I think that we made that decision really early because when we see the Kalani girls dance, that's what we like the most about them, and we wanted to do something creative, and just because it's fun also, and because we have no experience as filmmakers at all. This is our first film, so, but but we know a little about music and dance, so we think, okay, this thing we know something about. So
yeah, I think that's where all the confidence to do it came from, that we had experience about that. So because we had no idea how to do a documentary, and yeah.
But I didn't do the choreography for the group. That's Lori Maddle. That's here.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very bold decision that I really like. I think it really pays off. I think it builds character too. You see all their faces, especially that one beautiful moment that starts with them taking the makeup off and sort of talking about, being women of certain ages, and then but also feeling powerful and then sexy and funny and true in those moments. Maybe if Catherine and Nancy, you'd like to react to those moments of sort of feeling. The film is all about, for me, like radical self-acceptance, and saying this is who we are and where we are, and that's okay. And even no matter what's going on in your life, you have the Calendar Girls, and that's going to be a form of self-expression that I don't know. So maybe if you want to react to that and really talk about what being a Calendar Girl means to you and how that moment of honesty maybe made you feel.
Being a Calendar Girl is something that you will treasure forever. It's being with these girls all the time. It gives you a whole new direction and purpose in your life. Mm-hmm. And I am so grateful and proud to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I'm still a part of it now. Yeah. That one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is a commitment. It's a big chunk of time that you're going to give, but it's worth every second of it.
Yeah, and Nancy, you had to pivot twice in your life. It was interesting to see that sort of callback. In a narrative film, it would have been called a callback, and here it's just like a thing that happened. But I love the moment where you're saying change is good. Change is good. You're immediately able to notice that this is what happens in life sometimes. Maybe from your time as a police officer, knowing that you have to find that strength within you. And I'm so happy to see that you were also sticking around with the group too, and they were bringing you back to maybe make some of the clothes or something, or painting those T-shirts. I love that moment that if you're a Calendar Girl, you're a Calendar Girl, and whether you're going to be dancing or you're in the back of the one shot still doing the choreo, which is just so beautiful. So I don't know, maybe you want to speak to that too, about this camaraderie, and then your ability to pivot and understand that life's going to throw things at you, but you still have this group to fall back on. Right?
Yes, and they've all been supportive of me every step of the way too.
Amazing.
And sometimes being behind the scenes is now more fun than being in the limelight. But I stick to that every time that I've had to make a change in my life. It's always been for the better. Yeah. And change is good.
Yeah, no, you said it best yourself. So Catherine, how about you as sort of the enigmatic leader of this group? What about female camaraderie? What's that meant to you in your life, and how are you able to sort of instill this amazing? You run the Navy, you run a tight ship. I can only imagine that you're busy a year out before the film, so I can only imagine the next 20 years are booked straight. So tell us about sort of being the leader. What type of responsibility do you take in sort of leading this great group of women?
I always played on sports teams. I played a Division I sport. And then I meet all these gals who never played on a team. And so in the beginning, you have to learn how to be a teammate, what it takes, the practice, committing to each other. And they caught on. And I know I can be rigid, but I just want to take Lori's choreography and just work it hard so we have a great product to give our audiences, and it's worked for 17 years. So we're doing our regular shows all the time in practice, and suddenly we run into these two, and then it's another job. But it's been a wonderful journey for all of us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then for the two directors, it's sort of capturing this very honest moment. I guess it could have slipped into, I don't want to say like poking fun or anything, but it was such an honest, beautiful look at these, there's moments like they're called YouTubers, right? The YouTube beauty folks. And I thought that's such a great moment. Almost not regression, but fun, being able to play like a kid again, being able to learn to play makeup and play dress up. So how did you handle that delicate balance of depicting it while still being honest and being faithful to your subjects?
I think from the start we knew that we absolutely not wanted to do a film that made fun of them in any way. But I don't know, it wasn't really a challenge not to do that, because once you get past like the first time when we saw them, we were like had that feeling of what is this? This is crazy. But it took when we met Catherine for the first time, we knew right away that this is nothing crazy about this. It's just normal people doing what they love to do, and so it wasn't really hard to depict them in that way at all.
Yeah.
But it's been very important for us,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, of course. No. I think you do a great job of it, of just being honest and beautiful with it. And really, it becomes a celebration of life and a kind of understanding that, there's a celebration, but also the immediacy of mortality, I think, is also kind of glanced at as well, where it's like, you know what, I forget which Calendar Girl says it, but I might have 10 good years left, so what the hell, I'm going to make the most of those 10 years, and in the face of that, nothing is guaranteed, so we have to just go out and dance, and make people happy, and also give back to communities. So I love that you guys were able to capture those moments. As a first-time filmmaker then, so you were in these kind of very serious moments, like I go back to the moment with Nancy in the car, and that's so powerful, and then your final dance scene that's like pulls at the heartstrings. It's so beautiful. So being in that chair for the first time, I mean, were you overwhelmed as we are as in the audience, or again, there's a responsibility to capturing that moment. So what was going through your mind in those moments?
Yeah, that was really a sad moment, of course. And it was really hard to just continue filming and not saying anything when you want to give a friend a hug. Mm-hmm. But we did that after, of course. But I don't know, we filmed and filmed and filmed so much. Mm-hmm. I think all of us get used to the camera, and it became natural in some ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you like to respond to that as well, Luva?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, like Maria said, we had to learn, like, to not. At first, the first times we were in those situations, the first response is like you start talking right away when someone is having a hard time or talking about hard stuff. So we had to learn that during the process, that you can just be quiet and nod. But yeah, it's. I think we were very lucky to have the Calendar Girls as our first subject, because they were so open and so easy to work with. But maybe it also helped, like, we're not really intimidating as a couple of Swedes doing their first film. I think maybe that helped, being a bit open, that you didn't know that this was going to be shown all over the world. Because we didn't know that when we did it. It was.
Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Catherine, let's talk about trust, and I want to come back to you, Nancy, after. So, I guess when these two crazy Swedes come to you with this idea, and then folks talk about documentarians building trust with subjects. So, what were those first shoot days like for you as they're welcomed into this very sacrosanct group that you've led? Did you trust them? Did you feel able to be honest around them? Were you like, they're not going to get the right angles? What was going through your mind?
They actually weren't the first people to video us in all these years, but the first young couple from Sweden. And it did take a while to build trust, because we had no idea where it was going. But I will say they treated us with such dignity and respect. We could have been 90, but we were so much younger. And we just all fell in love with them. And they would say, okay, one more time, and 50 more times. And we were just so thrilled to be working with, because they're good and gentle and honest people, besides talent.
Of course. It's a good balance. So yeah. So Nancy, if you could maybe respond to that as well. Like we talked about some of the most intimate moments follow you. So what was the trust building exercise like for you as you had these folks documenting this really strong moments in your life, really?
It was hard in the beginning, because it was when you have something really serious going on and you have to make such a life decision, you really don't want to talk about it. And when you talk about it, it becomes real.
Yeah.
And they brought it out in me, and Catherine as well, and everybody supported me. But it was very hard.
Yeah.
It was hard watching that.
I'm sure.
But because they were so kind and they were always there, that I got used to it, and then I started, okay, this is life.
Yeah.
This is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I trusted them.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's so beautiful. Like I said, but it's a celebration too, you know. And I think what the film is about, it's like coming together as a group, right? And when you're involved in any sort of group, there is going to be someone who needs a hand, and that's just how groups go. And sometimes you're giving the hand, sometimes you're getting the hand. That's I think what you captured so beautifully here. So I guess. I want to hear more about now the life, now that it's out in the world, and now that the people are seeing it. I want to hear the response for you, and then obviously I want to talk to you, Catherine, about the phone calls that you're probably getting here. So what has been, it was supposed to premiere at Sundance this year, correct? And obviously Sundance, if you didn't know, went virtual, right? So I'm sure there was a plan to go, but then when you pivoted to online, how has the community been received, or how have you been able to connect with communities? What's the feedback been like?
That one not going to Utah was, of course, a disappointment. But we've been to so many festivals now. We've been to Greek, we've been to Italy, we've been a lot around Sweden, and we're going to a lot more. And in the US for the 6 next weeks. So I think we're just having a good time, have fun with this.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that people seem to react almost the same way in every country, that people feel very connected to the Calendar Girls. They love you. They really love you.
What's not to love? Come on, it's so fun.
But I think part of that is because it's a very universal subject,
Yeah.
like aging and how you're going to spend the later part of your life. And we find what we didn't know when we thought when we started planning for releasing the film, we mostly talked about the audience is going to be like a bit older, like from 50 or 60 and up. But what we realized when we started showing the film is that it really speaks to the younger audience, like people in their 20s or 25, 30. So I think we really need people that can inspire you on how your retirement life can be like, because we don't have that many role models, especially not in film. We don't see that many film about.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not surprised. It's uplifting, it's celebratory, so I'm not surprised that folks are responding to it. So Catherine, tell us, is your phone ringing off the hook? Do you have an agent now? What's happening? Do you have more lieutenants than before? So tell us what's life been like for you since the film's been premiering?
Well, it's great. It's great for the team. But it's funny that some little old lady in Des Moines, Iowa will ask me to come there and start a team. And we're really working hard right here in Florida. So everything's been really positive. We've always wanted to be role models, and now we really are around the world, so that's wonderful.
Yeah. I think it's time to franchise and branch out.
I remember you were talking about franchising
Yes.
the Calendar Girls early on, so
Wouldn't that
now
be
is the
fun?
time to start.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Time to take over. Is there Calendar Boys that maybe, no? Okay. Just saying.
We
I wanted to put in an
actually,
early application, that's all I'm saying.
We
So,
actually do a calendar every year with our 2 little boys that we call the Calendar Boys calendar, but it's just giving it to friends and
That's
family.
very cute. Okay, so maybe I'll open up to audience questions now. I kind of can't see, but there, sir. So please stand up and say your question, please. Yeah, I'll repeat your question. So as long as I can hear it. Great. So the question is about Fran, I believe is her name, right? That had a partner in North Carolina that did not really care for her coming and going. So the question was, where did the Fran storyline resolve?
Do you want to answer? Or?
She's still with her husband and still traveling from North Carolina to Florida. And that's what she's choosing.
Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, right here, off the aisle. Okay, so we have 3 technical questions. The first, I'm going to try to remember them all. The first was the number of alumni. The second was the average amount of years a Calendar Girl dances with you all. And then the third was the amount of money you've raised for the guide dogs.
More than 100 women have passed through our ranks. The average amount of time they spend with us is 2 years. It's a tremendous amount of work. You can ask our choreographer how much work dance is. Southeastern Guide Dogs, which is located in Palmetto, Florida, right near Sarasota, prefers that we don't talk about how much each guide dog costs, but we've raised tens of thousands of dollars for Southeastern guide dogs, and we sponsored 26 Southeastern guide dogs for veterans.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. How about back here on the side? Okay, so more of a statement category, but I'll try to turn it into a question for you. So there's that one, it's almost like a Fran's Defiant dance. You know, she's in that North Carolina cabin where she's sort of been told you can't come and go, and she says, damn it, I'm going to dance, and if I have to do it here, I will. And I think it's a very honest, beautiful, close moment. So maybe let's talk about finding that for you all in terms of choreography, in terms of that moment, in terms of, was it your idea, Fran's idea? Tell us about the genesis of that, please.
We knew we wanted to do some kind of dance with her when we came to North Carolina, but we didn't know exactly what to do. But this just turned out really, we followed our intuition. It was really right after with the scene with her husband. We filmed it right after, so she had a lot of emotions in her. And we gave her a few movements to start with, but most of it is improvisation.
Would you pick the soundtrack? Would you be dancing to track in the moment, or would you find the music after in the edit? Or tell me about that actual production.
All the music that's in, like all the score, is written by me. So that was. Thank you. But as far as working with it, we did the dances to temp music. Like we used a song that had kind of the same feeling we wanted, but at that time we didn't really know exactly what feeling we wanted. So that was done afterwards, like when composing the music. I just had this idea, like you said, about native, like a Native American, or like I had the feeling of she's on a mission to do something there, and you can really see it in her eyes. And I just tried to, with the music, like to emphasize that feeling, and it turned out very good.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
But it's mostly because her energy. You could have done almost any music to that scene, and it would have been worked anyway, because she has such strong energy when she's dancing.
Yeah, fierce, piercing eyes, and you can feel she's pent up, and this is a great way of expressing it. So again, great moment.
Jacqueline, it's such a pleasure to have you here at the Sarasota Film Festival.
Thank
you.
The
24th annual one. What drew you to the movie?
Lauren and Rose. Lauren and Rose has got the most amazing script. It's so well written.
Yes, Russell.
Russell just wrote a magnificent script, and it's very complex. It's a real wonderful opportunity for an actor, and I was very lucky to have got the part. And he tells me that I was at his house having dinner with him, and I was talking a little bit I was talking about my life and my work, and he said it's like I was the character that he was thinking of making the movie about. So somehow it happened very organically. I was unaware of that, of course.
Yeah. What was it like working with Kelly?
Great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
It's not an easy part to be working with me in a part where I have more to say in the story. I was a bigger part, and it's complex. He was so present, that's an incredible gift, an actor who really listens, and he was just there. I mean, he was
really into the character.
Really made his character live, which makes my work much easier. And the story goes gradually through this 6-year period when we become really, really close friends. It was just a joy to do it. I mean, Kelly would really absorb all the energy that was coming from me, and I was absorbing the energy and his issues. It's really like a mentoring situation where I'm inadvertently mentoring somebody who I actually went to try and get a job with.
It's amazing.
That's really, yeah.
It's
Have
really
you seen the
amazing.
film?
I'm about to.
You're about to?
Yeah, I'm about to see
well,
it.
I think you'll enjoy. It's quite complex, and it's exceptionally.
It's very
good.
exciting. I've heard so much about the writing and the script.
Yes.
Yes. And
What
of
do
course
you do apart from taking interviews?
Oh, well, I'm a filmmaker
You're a filmmaker
as well, yeah.
Oh.
And I work for the film festival.
Right. Well, it's
Yeah.
been lovely.
Yeah, it's very lovely.
Very lovely. Yeah.
So can I ask you the question that everybody probably asks you, and what was it like working with Steve McQueen? Gotta know, right?
Well, working with Steve McQueen was good. First of all, I did a screen test with him, and he was very quiet, very charming, and everything. And when I finally got to do the film, he was a little bit hyper. Because it was a bit hyper. It was his first production of his own company, Solar Productions.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously it was important to him that everything be right. So he was a bit manic, but kind. He was always very I always think of him as like a sort of wild cat who doesn't want to be caught by anybody. He arrived on his motorcycle, he left on his motorcycle. He did not want the crowds to catch him. And it was at a time when he was very famous. He would never we used to go as a group of us, the director and the producer, we'd go, and Steve and I and a couple of people, would go to restaurants in the local area we were shooting in San Francisco. He would never want to be around everybody. He wanted to be in a private room with his back to the wall. He did not want to be kind of caught. There was a very, as I said, like a wild cat, just he was gone.
Right. And it's kind of maybe method acting, like being in a room.
He was very still when he was working. He was very still, he had a strong charisma, and he knew how to use the camera.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And that film goes on, on and on and on.
I've seen it quite a few times.
And the car thing. I get invited to Bullet car shows. Not that I go, but it goes on and on. Because they're still talking about Bullet, and they definitely are.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes,
that's really great.
Yeah.
I'll have to look some of those up. So what would you like people to take away from this film?
Well, I hope that they really listen. This is not an action film, This is a movie. This is a very intelligent movie and full of incredible wisdom. And it really leans towards people who are involved in who have artistic things and who have the aspirations to be artists.
Right.
And that could be, a lot of people have aspirations to be artists. But the process, the pain, the difficulties, the joys and the sorrows all happen within my life, and it's also happening in his life. But he's just beginning, It's not what we teach each other. We try to lift each other from the difficulties. I love the story.
I can't wait to see
think
it.
Russell Brown did a beautiful job.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yes,
Thank
good.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Russell. It's such a pleasure to have you here at the 24th Annual Sarasota Film Festival in Sarasota, Florida. Great. Have you been here before?
I have, actually, yeah.
Fantastic. What do
Yeah.
you think of our arts community?
I love it. I was at the Ringling Museum this morning where I've been before, and it's the most incredible art museum.
Oh, I know. It's
Amazing
beautiful,
collection.
isn't it?
And then we walked along the water today, and there were sort of booths selling paintings and sculptures. It was awesome. It's terrific. Very creative and cool.
Fantastic. And tell me a little bit about Lauren and Rose, the screenplay.
Well, Lauren and Rose is about what it's about, or it's the story of a up-and-coming film director and a once iconic actress and their friendship over many years, and they sort of have a first business meeting to get to talk about working together, and then over the course of the next 6 years, they just become very, very close. And it's a movie about their relationship.
That's fantastic. Now, what were your inspirations for that? Anything particular? Or?
No, it was really, I just started writing the dialogue of these characters, and the movie is really about mentorship and friendship and these kind of relationships that you develop with your mentors. And that was it. Yeah.
And what drew you to Jacqueline Bisset?
Well, Jacqueline and I knew each other socially, and one night we were having dinner with a mutual friend, and I was in the middle of writing the screenplay, and she just oddly started doing the part, telling stories from her life and talking about being an actor, and that was sort of what happened. It started there.
It's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
And what would you like people to take away from this film?
I think it's mostly just the emotional experience of this friendship and what these two people meant to each other, and kind of the really deep connection between our mentors and teachers and students, and the sort of cyclical nature of that type of relationship.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, and I can't wait to see
Ramsey
it.
Lewis,
Yeah.
Branford Marsalis, all of these amazing people that were influenced by Oscar, and so they're part of it, as well as the film. was inspired a lot by Standing in the Shadows of Motown, which had these wonderful musical interludes, which you'll see in the film, great people playing Oscars music.
Fantastic. And what would you like people to take away from this?
I think that let's just keep listening to jazz, understand that even the music of today, whether it's hip-hop or rap, is so much of it's inspired by great jazz artists. The film is on Hulu as we speak, so if you couldn't be here, then I hope you get to see the film.
Great. Well, then catch it on Hulu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Grace.
Yes.
All right.
And what brings you here to the 24th Annual Film Festival?
I came for the pitch panel, for the pitch forum.
Fantastic.
To promote a movie that I wrote and will be acting in called Telluride.
Ooh, Telluride. Is it about a film festival in Telluride?
It is. It's a romance drama set in college at CU Boulder that deals with grief and purpose and a lot of romance.
So why Boulder, Colorado?
I grew up in Colorado, so it's very
nice.
close to home to me. I actually wrote it after being involved in a car accident myself.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's very personal to me, and my own life brought into the script a lot.
Yeah. And do you still live in Colorado?
I live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, do you miss it? Do you miss Colorado?
I love LA.
You love LA?
I love LA.
Nice.
It's a great place, yeah.
Can you tell us anything else about the script, or like
it's
little
being
tidbits?
produced by Prominent Productions, really great team.
Fantastic.
There's a scene, he gives, basically his brother dies in a car accident, and then before he dies, he gives him 2 tickets to his favorite band at Red Rocks, and when he dies, he brings his new girlfriend to that concert. And Red Rocks has never been filmed at before, which is one of the most famous amphitheaters in the world.
Yes, it is.
So it'll be the first narrative film to have Red Rocks in it.
Fantastic. I've always wanted to see Dave Matthews there.
It's great, yeah. I'm stoked.
So what are you looking forward for people to taking away from your script after when it's produced?
When it's made?
Yes, when it's made.
I want people that are in a sad place or in a place of loss of life to watch it and feel not alone and connected, and that if someone else can get through a hard time, that they can too.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
We are so happy to be back as we transition into a full slate in the coming years, and we're very much looking forward to the 25th Annual Festival. The last couple of movies, we included a clip about a friend of ours who is a friend of the festival and went off to Poland to support World Central Kitchen. His name is Brian Sack, and he's Skip Sack's son. And Skip is a big philanthropist and a wonderful member of this community. He doesn't just put resources, but puts his time and his thought behind all the activities that he gets involved in. So we were going to do a live Skype from the Polish border, but for a variety of technical reasons, Brian has decided, and some of you may have seen this already, decided to send us a clip. And so we'd like to show that clip now.
Hello, Sarasota Film Festival. My name is Brian Sack, and I am in central Poland, right now 12 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. A few weeks ago, I've lost track of time, but I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, I volunteered for World Central Kitchen. And I came here to what was an empty warehouse. I'll show you, it's actually not empty anymore. It is a functioning industrial kitchen with a walk-in refrigerator. And none of this existed. This was a warehouse that was empty. It was 4 walls and a concrete floor. And in the span of about a week, it had plumbing, it had electricity, it had gas, and it had 2,000 square feet of cooling space. And I was part of that team that helped do this. And it's now a functioning kitchen that can, at peak, create 150,000 meals a day. And these meals go out to refugees all over the border crossings at Medika, Kochova, Budomirs, and some other places, and also the train stations and refugee centers. There's one here in Sarasota that is former Tesco grocery store is now converted into refugee housing as they sort out where they are going to go. The reason I'm here in Central, which is currently 28 degrees, so enjoy Sarasota. I came here because my wife is from Eastern Europe, and the people I saw being killed and displaced looked very familiar to me. And the cities I saw being leveled looked very familiar to me. And I felt like I needed to do something. Sitting in New York, complaining about it on social media did not work for me. My wife is in the culinary world. She was very familiar with World Central Kitchen and their mission, which is to feed people. And so she told me about it. I signed up, and I got here. And I've been here for 3 to 4 weeks, and I just signed on to be here for another 4 weeks. In the course of being here, I have met some of the loveliest people I've ever met in my life. I've become fast friends with a lot of people. They come and go, and it's very sad. There's a lot of heartbreak. But it is generally a phenomenal organization doing good things. We're all points of light in a really dark time, and it feels good to be part of that. It's a good organization. If you want to donate, I'm not going to stop you. I think it's a good prize. I can tell you firsthand, it's a good group of folks. And they gave me a free hat, so come on.
Thanks, Mark. Rodney and I have been working for the last 6 months, watching films and trying to make selections for the festival here. And I have to say, your response to the films that we've selected has really made those 6 months' work meaningful to us, and we really thank you for coming out, seeing the films, and being part of the festival this year.
Ed and I met years ago in the hallways of the Sarasota Film Festival talking about film and the impact it had on the both of us. And we really programmed by the words of Roger Ebert that film is the art form that most highlights empathy. And we really believe in programming films that highlight that. So it's been our privilege to be able to work together. And again, as Ed said, your response has been incredible. We'd now like to invite up another staff member of the film festival, Grace Halligan, who is a many hat-wearing member of our staff, our volunteer coordinator, our production coordinator, and our education. The three of us have the privilege of being able to announce our shorts film winners.
It is my absolute pleasure to announce the U.S. Narrative Short, to a film that really touched my heart, about how we deal with severed relationships in alternate ways, and that we need is always together.
This film was a collaboration of Sarasota. If it wasn't for Sarasota, it would have never gotten made. The Ringling College, West Coast Black Theater, the Opera House, Laurel Oak Golf Course, and many individuals that love the city and this community like I do. They're the ones that made this thing happen. I also have to thank Unbounded Media and Peter Ornio, who took my dream and made it into a film. Most importantly, I have to thank my wife, who suffered through the last 5 years, Paige Peterson. This is as much her creation as mine. So thank you, Sarasota.
So coming here and being able to judge these films is really a pleasure. And we thank Mark and Lena and the whole team. And I just want to say that the film is an important film for everyone to see, and that's partly why we gave this film the award. It's a film that shows you how bad things can be for certain people and how their lives are affected. They fight so hard, and sometimes there is a victory. It's an important film. Everyone should see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's so exciting to have a film that world premiered here at the Sarasota Film Festival in The Smell of Money be an award winner. So it's great for anyone who is here. You were the first eyes to get to see this film, and it's so exciting that our jury responded to it. As some of you saw, we have had a few people who were over-inspired by Jenna Malone on the first night doing her own stunts, and they've been doing a little bit of tripping. I can assure you everyone's okay. And on that note, I do want to invite out our next jury. Please don't trip. We've had enough of all of that. This is our narrative jury who's going to be announcing the award for narrative feature, in addition to the award for our Independent Visions competition. We have Roger Mancusi from Ampus, and he is a filmmaker himself. We were honored to show his film, Hannah Ha. We have Christine Betsikas from ICM. And we have Joe McGovern from The Wrap.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Before we get into the awards, I just want to say a thank you to you for being here. You know, Sarasota is a great town, and the festival is a great celebration of the art and the other great things that this town supports. So whether you've donated your money or donated your time or just came and saw a film here this week, thank you. Thank you from us jurors, thank you from the festival. It means a lot. Thanks a lot. We had a great opportunity to check out 8 films that were competing across 2 different categories. The first is going to be the narrative features, and the second is an independent visions category. So before we get into the winner for the narrative features, we actually have a special acknowledgement the jury wanted to give. So my colleague Joe could please go into that.
Thank you, and I just wanted to echo Roger's comments about Sarasota. I only arrived this morning, but I had a chance to walk down Main Street and along the waterfront. It's a beautiful place, and a beautiful film community that I can't wait to come back to. It's my first time, so I'll be back many more times. There was a film that moved us with its sort of sense of mystery and sense of music, and it's called A Topography of Sirens. And I just wanted to single it out for an honorable mention. Very talented filmmaker and a very rich experience. So with that note, back to Roger for our awards.
Yes, it's a beautiful contemplative film. So the first section we're going to be giving is the narrative feature. So the film that we selected after much deliberation is sort of a modern update of a Godard classic, Breathless. The film is called Out of Breath, and it focuses on sort of this young bicycle messenger that stumbles onto this piece of jewelry that gets him into trouble with the police. He has to go on the lam throughout New York City. So it's a very grounded, very fast-paced, great edited movie. So I believe the filmmaker isn't here in person, but we have a speech from him in absentia that Rodney will read.
The filmmaking team said that they would like to thank everyone so much for this honor. They want to thank the Sarasota Film Festival, the programmers who spotted, highlighted, and premiered our little film, the Sarasota community for coming out to support independent cinema, and thank you to the judges who saw our project's merit. We are so thrilled that the film connected with your audiences. We believe the need for independent cinema and original stories is crucial to the world. Through cinema, we are able to broaden our emotional intelligence and empathy. We're able to hear other people's voices and stories, and by engaging with those stories, we enrich our own lives. As such, organizations that champion independent voices like the Sarasota Film Festival are so necessary and wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Shame they can't be with us here in person, but thank you for reading that, and I'm sure they're happy as we are to give them that award. The second category we were giving the award to is the Independent Visions category. So the film that we went with is called Long Island Gus. It's an amazing mockumentary that's shot on a bootstrapped financial realities. You know, it's very grounded, very run and gun, very, or almost, Martin Scorsese, that last 30 minutes of Goodfellas has this hectic, kind of unsettling pacing to it that we thought was a great way to tell a story that I was having a hard time deciding, is this real or not? Like, this is a great job of getting these performances from non-actors that are characters without being caricatures in the story they're telling of this hectic Long Island guy who has to raise money for his best friend's kidney transplant on the black market, I'll tell you. So I guess the filmmaker too is at Disney World today. Is Disneyland? Disney? Which one's in Florida? World. You tell him from New York. So he can't be with us, but Uncle Johnny from the film is here with us. So please stand up, Uncle Johnny. Where are you? And then Sandy, can you please present him with the award? Come on up. Johnny can give a few words.
First of all, thank you everybody for voting us and having us in the film festival. This was an incredible experience. This is my first time. I am not a professional actor. If you happen to watch the film, I'm the maniac guy, and it's really not that much difference, but it's a lot of fun. And I just want to say one thing too, is watching the maturation process of my nephew is just something to behold. And if you're into relationships and you believe in people, then you'll understand who my nephew is. My nephew does come from Long Island. He came from a New York Italian family. And he came from a family that instilled tremendous values in him. And he places his trust and he places his value in people. And Long Island Gus was a film that was inspired because his friend didn't really know who his father was, and he wanted to help him find his father. And the film kind of evolved from that, and that's kind of who Closure is. Closure's the person that believes in those types of relationships. And he has so much talent, and he's just an incredible person. And he's made several films. He's made a film called Moving in 2008. It was on a very low budget. It was, basically like $40,000, I believe it was. And that made it into multiple film festivals and won multiple awards. Same thing with this particular film, Long Island Gus. We didn't have any professional actors. There was one professional actor in the entire film. And it's really a tremendous documentary. And like I said, he has scripts that are written, and all of these films were based to get him to where he has a film that's written that's called Leone's. It's based on a character that's named Leonard Leone Maglione. And he's America's favorite chef who's been forgotten. And I think that if there's anyone out there that believes in film and believes in people and believes in relationships, you might want to invest in Collado because he's the sure shot, he's the sure bet. And thank you again, I really appreciate it.
The character, I believe, in the movie is the line to always be closing. So always be closing, always be pitching, John. I love it. Never miss an opportunity. So I think that's it from us as the grand jury. We want to thank you again for coming out and supporting Sarasota. Thank you for supporting independent films. It's nothing without you, the audience. So it means a lot. Thank you for having us.
I'd like to bring back our fearless leader, Mark Familio. And Mark,
I have a lot of fears, Rodney. I have a lot of fears.
Thanks for all you do.
I give it grief for getting too many films and too many wonderful films. The programmers did a great job this year, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We give them a lot of grief, and they performed, and we're very thankful for that. I want to introduce a summation of our iconic star of the evening in our salute's life. Jacqueline Bissett, we can run that reel, please.
I'm Christine Adams, I'm 19 and I'm in love. Mr. Bond. Very sexy pants you're wearing, James.
Yes, they're the new 00 fronts.
I know it's there, but I don't have to be reminded of the whole thing. Living with violence and death.
You're sure?
Do you mean am I sure I'm pregnant? Or am I sure you're the father?
Are you suggesting that I'm full enough?
That is correct, monsieur. I didn't come here for you. I came here for us. There's nothing wrong with my tickets.
I'd like to go to dinner tonight.
I'm not on the job. I get so angry and I say such dreadful things. I don't want to become a clown and a bore. Jonathan, this is my mom. Have you ever been in love? I know the name of every girl you've ever slept with since you were 18.
Name.
If you enjoy dressing it, why not do it right? Love. But do not love the man who will be in his power. Good luck. When I think of all the times I moved with things, I think of how much would have been different if I just stuck it out.
There she is. Madame Dupré, trying to backstab us. Do you need more proof than that?
I should never have sent a man to do a woman's job.
Get out! You have no jurisdiction here. Out!
You need to get out of the elevator.
Hello, Mom! Hi! Where the hell are you? Are you in that building?
1, 2, 3. Mais enfin, je pense pas pour longtemps.
Ma petite folle. Ma petite folle. You have made me very proud, petit homme. For some people, cinema means something superficial and glamorous. But I think it is the mirror of the world.
Yes, she was a legend, but she was unpredictable and elusive. But I wouldn't write her off until I had met her. She was due her comeback, a great talent, waiting to be unleashed again. I'm Lauren Rusher. God, it is an honor to meet you, Miss Martin.
I'm just Rose. And the honor is mine. Reading the auteur behind the best short film I've seen in at least a decade.
Thank you.
I was so moved by those 12 minutes. I feel like you let me sit down next to you at your mother's funeral. So much truth and loss and pain in a short time. I am not surprised you won so many awards.
Short film awards, but yeah, I guess it's done well for a little art project.
Should we drink something?
Yes, let's do it.